Well, good evening, everyone. If you are streaming on Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram, because I do see that we are live, welcome. Not only to another episode of 369, so much more than travel, but we have a special presentation tonight because none other than my pastor, my business partner, three-star director, Pastor Mel Keyes, is going to be going through a very brief presentation. We're going to talk about something really brief because we have to get ready for our faith leaders call at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. So you want to make sure that you are in that room, in that Zoom to be exact. But if you are just chiming in, thank you so much and welcome. I am your hostess, always doing the mostest, Tanya Evans, and I am so excited. We're going to talk about today finishing stronger and starting again better. So if you are just chiming in, go ahead, click like and click share. Yes, click like and click share because something good is going to happen to you if you are tuning in with us tonight. So without further ado, I would like to introduce to you so that we can hurry up and get on this faith leaders call, none other than my pastor. He is a pastor out of San Antonio, Texas. Shout out to my J Howe family. I just love my J Howe. And he has a beautiful wife, First Lady Kendra Keyes. I love her to death. Hugs and kisses to you if you are out there chiming in. Also, he is a father and a grandfather. Look him look real young to be a grandfather, but I'm a grandmother and I look just as young. So without further ado, I would like to introduce to you my brother from another mother, Pastor Mel Keyes. Come forth, hey, and bless us with your presence.
Baby girl, it's always a pleasure. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you loud and clear.
It's always a pleasure and a joy to be in your company. And shut your mouth. You ain't nobody grandma.
Oh, that's all right. Yes, I am.
Oh,
Shout out
boy.
Marcy Timmy.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Don't go too far away. I'm going to put you in the lobby and then I'm going to bring you back real quick to close
All
this
right.
thing out. Because, like you said, we must be on this faith leaders call. We got my main man, Dr. John, who will be breaking some bread with us. And ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, you don't want to miss. I don't want to miss it. So you don't want to miss it because it's going to be all kind of good. And if there's a purpose, a calling, an assignment on your life, you'll want to be there just like you're here. So if you're here in the comments, let us know what city you're in, what state you're in, what nation you're in. If you're watching the replay, let us know all the same because it's go time, y'all. Our subject tonight is simply this: finishing stronger and starting again better. We do not want to wait till the battle is over to shout. We can start right now, y'all, but we're going to talk about this thing and we're going to be true to it. Finishing stronger and starting again better. Don't wait to 2025 if the Lord blesses us, as He puts the grace on us to finish the race. We dare not wait till 31 December, nothing to have a plan. Listen, it started already, and this is it. This is your wake-up call. This is your memo. This is your alarm clock. Finishing stronger and starting again better. Let me do something administratively. I didn't even really invite hardly anybody here, but if you would take the time, if you're watching already, get a couple of friends in on this conversation. Get in while the getting is good. Amen. I'm also, listen, y'all, thank you, Tanya, for sharing with me how to get into the gram. We got our good friends in the gram here. I can't see the names, but we'll get back to you. I want to thank you for joining in with us. I promise you this is going to be more than worth your time. If you have not looked at your calendar and grabbed your calculator out at the same time, you may not be aware that this is 288, day number 288 of the calendar year. 78 days remain in front of us. The Lord say the same, the creek don't rise. And if you get your math right, it would probably indicate about 78% of the year, y'all, is gone. That means there's about 22% left remaining for us. But here's what I was reminded. When I was in the military, now this was a few moons ago, and I can't be too long on this, but we were introduced to this concept, at least I was, and this was, Lord knows, this was in the early 90s for me when I started leadership instruction and all that. and they told me about this Pareto principle. It changed a few things for me. They said 20% of print, and this was across industries, various fields, various sectors, 20% of the people or the things that we do, components involved for a particular outcome, set outcome, 20%, y'all, makes 80% of the impact. So I just told you we got about 22% of the year left. Why am I saying this? Because some of us have already started hitting the brakes. Some of us have already started coasting into this thing, acting like it's over. Some of us have started saying, well, I guess next year. No, man, next year, nothing. Put that in the comments if you're watching. Next year, nothing. We're going to finish this thing strong, and we're going to set it up just right to start again even better. Because with 22%, listen, the rest of your year can be the best of your year. I want to say that again. The rest of your year can be the best of your year with what you have remaining. 78 days remaining in the calendar year. So again, we're talking about finishing stronger and starting again better. I'm going to give you a subtitle of that. Master keys for making the rest of the year the best of the year and taking next year to a whole new level. How many of you watching this replay or here live, wherever you are, you're very interested and past interested, you're committed to the task of taking your next year with the Lord's help, empowerment, his grace, to a whole new level. That the level you're on right now, this will be your foundation. This will be your platform. This will be your springing board. How many of y'all are thinking like that? That what you've experienced, what you've accomplished, all of what God has done and all of what he's allowed, this is your foundation. This is your springboard. Your next year, and you ain't waiting. Come on, I'm going to say it again. You're not waiting to December to start. You've already started, or you're starting right now with this wake-up call. Next year, y'all, is going to be a whole new level. So let's talk about it. I'm going to give you some master keys, and I'm going to talk through these quickly that you'll need to finish stronger and to start again better. You're going to build a runway starting here and now for your 2025. By God's grace, if it's his will for you to be here, you cannot have a repeat. You ought not. It ought to be a whole new level. Here it is. Number one, we're going to make some assessments, and there are 10 of them in totality. Let's look at these assessments. Number one, you must assess who you really are. Who are you really? We often think that because we're 35, 45, 63, 72, whatever, that means some kind of way that we are, apparently you know who you are because you've had a whole lot of years and a whole lot of decades in your history. You've watched a few sunrises, so forth and so on. No, not true. There's a lot of folk that are very much older and they have still not done the work, exercise due diligence to assess who they really are. We're told who we are by a whole lot of sources that don't even know who they are. So how could they then lead you to the discovery of who you are? Have you, made the assessment of who you, and put the emphasis, y'all, heavy on the really. Who are you really? Make that assessment. Assess who you really are. Because if you're going to finish this thing stronger, and if you're going to start again better, man, you're not going to be able to skip past first base. You got to go there. Number two, once you assess who you really are, assess where you really are. In proximity to who you are, you ought to be able to calculate, do some math, be real with it, be true to it. Assess where you really are. Okay, if that's who you are, well, where are you? Y'all remember, I ain't got time, but I'm a preacher here. Adam, where are you? That was the question. And it was not for the Lord's benefit. It was for Adam's. Sometimes we say we know who we really are, but if you really know who you are, then you need to assess where you are. Why are you way over there? You talking about this who you are? Why are you all over in these woods over here? You talking about that's who you are? Why are you all up in the Kool-Aid? Folk ain't even doing nothing. Ain't even trying. Ain't even don't even have a clue. Why are you even spending all your time with them in that way if you really know who you are? Assess really who you really are. Lady K's in the house. She finished up her meeting a little bit early, thank God. All right, and number 2, assess where you really are. Number 3, y'all, I got to move quickly. Not only must you assess where and who you are, but assess, number 3, assess the kind of person you really want to be. See, there's someone inside of you chiseling their way out of you. You have been the limitation of the you that's inside of you, just like I've been the limitation of who it is that's inside of me. There's a greater inside of each and every one of us. And the mediocrity of the old us has held us back. Did you catch that? There's a greater us inside of each and every one of us, and the mediocrity or the top level of who we have been in the past has held that person back from coming forward. But no matter what your failure, no matter what your pain, no matter what your success has been in the past, do not let that be the ceiling of who you will become. You got to assess the kind of person you really want to be. What is it that you've seen by faith because the Lord has spoken it over your life? He's spoken it. He's whispered it to you. He's guided you by the hand. He's led you like footprints through the sand. He's some kind of way demonstrated that this is who he called you to be. This is who you are. If I had time, I would talk about Brother Abraham. My God, before he got to that, he was only known, listen, he was Abram. Yeah, you got to assess the kind of person you really want to be. Then number 4, assess. We're making assessments, y'all, because if you're going to get to where you are, to the discovery of everything, the experience of everything God has for you, if you're going to finish stronger and you're going to start again better, you got to make the assessment, y'all. We can't just willy-nilly this thing and all that type of stuff. And I know there's a lot of folk, well, I'm just going to pray. Well, you better put some prayer on it. I believe that. But what you going to do after you pray? After you pray, there ought to be some revelation. There ought to be some motivation. There ought to be some inspiration. There ought to be some correction. Come on. There ought to be some direction and all those types of things that God will speak when we pray. It ain't just, look, let me tell you this. Write this down, and I know it's going to shake some of y'all up. But just prayer alone is not enough. Say it that way. Just prayer alone, because there's a whole lot of folk that don't understand what prayer is really for. Just prayer alone is not enough. Some of y'all have been led, well, worship. I'm just going to worship my way. Man, listen, worship is powerful. God will demonstrate. He's in the mix. 2 or 3 gathered together. We know all of this type of stuff. Let me help you with something. Just worship alone by itself is not enough. At some point, you got to get up off your knees and do what it is that God has called you to do. David was a worshiper. You know that. He had the heart of a worship. I remember when he was worshiping in the scripture and the Lord told him, get up, sit in the camp. Know what you doing, crying for and all this kind of stuff. Go do what I told you to do. So you got to come on here. You got to make the assessment. Number 4, assess where you really want to go. Where is it that you really want to go, Cam? Come on, be real with it. Be true to it. Not new to it, true to it. Assess where. Come on, you know who you are. You know where you are, but where do you really want to go based upon that information, based upon that knowledge? They say sky's the limit. No, it ain't. You go higher than that. Come on. Remember, I can't go too far. The Wright brothers, that's what we're told. The Wright brothers, listen, they went up way up in the sky. Didn't listen. Now, they was testing some stuff out. Didn't always work, but finally it did, right? Sky's not the limit. We're the limit. Somebody put that in the comments. Sky's not the limit. We're the limit. So you got to assess where you really want to go. What has the Lord put in you? What clues do you have? Sometimes we going here, there, wherever, but there's more, y'all. There's more. Number 5. Assess what you really want to do. What? We've been looking at the who, we've been looking at the where, but assess what you really want to do. What is it? If the Lord gave you another 50, 80, or 100 years, what is it you really want to do? Some of us, I mean, come on there, let's be shoot, man. Listen, more time behind me than in front of me, I'm sure, on this earth, right? What do you want to do with your 40 years remaining, your 30 years remaining? We don't know. We don't have a clue. Or your 20 years, your 10 years. What do you want to do with the last decade? Whatever he gives you, come on, thank him for it. Because we won't be here long, even if it's a 500 year, we won't be here long. Assess what you really want to do with the time that you have left, the time that you have remaining. Do you have a plan? Or are you just making it up as you go along? That's not good enough. You got to make an assessment, y'all. Make the assessment of what you really want to do. Number 6, assess what you really want to have. Man, you ought to want to have some stuff. And look here, don't nobody want to be having no hat out, waiting for folk to put a little donation in, drop some coins in a hat. No, that ain't your portion. Somebody put that in the comments. Carol, I see you in the house. Congratulations. Proud of you. Put it in the comments. That ain't my portion. I'm not called to be no beggar. I'm not called to have my hand out. I'm called to listen. I'm called to have my hand reaching out to other folk to help pull them up. Yeah. Poverty does not have to be your portion. Broke is not your blessing, y'all. Assess what you really want to have, because you can't help nobody with anything you don't have yourself. I need to say that again. You really can't. We can't help anybody with anything that we don't first have ourselves. Assess what you really want to have. Then number 7, we almost through, y'all. Assess your inner circle. My God. Assess your inner circle. You'll be amazed at how capsized our ships are because of the wrong inner circle. You'll be amazed how many holes were drilled in the ship. Come on now. How many brake lines got cut? How many daggers was in your back because you did not properly assess your inner circle. You'll be amazed. Why are we going so slow? What's this drag? We feel like we weighted down. We should be able to climb higher. We should be able to go further. We should have more gas left, man. You better assess your inner circle. Because I know this for a fact, y'all. If you're going to finish this thing stronger, Lord have mercy, ain't no way you're going to do any of that without assessing your inner circle. If you are going to start the new year better, to do greater things, you will not do that without an assessment. And I mean a proper, effective assessment of your inner circle. But not only that, lest I hold you too long, you must also assess your coaches. Who are the people that are speaking into your life? And are they worth it? I'm going to say it again. Who are the people that are speaking into your life? And are they worth it? Come on here. Are you impressed with what are you more concerned with being impressed, or are you more concerned with being impacted? Because we got this groupie type of, come on here. We got this fan base kind of culture. This society has lost its mind. Folk will worship human beings that are just like them. It's crazy. I don't understand it, to be honest with you. It don't math to me. But you ought to have somebody further ahead of you, not so you can worship them, but so that you can learn from them, so that you can get to where they already are. Hello, you got to assess, and sometimes further, you got to assess your coaches. Man, you getting coached from folk that are no further than you are. What kind of foolery is this? You got folks speaking into your life, they not even as far as you are. And you got them giving you advice. The Lord said it this way: the blind can't lead the blind, or shouldn't, because if that's the experience, that's the math, they'll all end up in the same ditch. You got to assess your coaching. Put this in the comments. Who's coaching you? You better answer that. Who's coaching you? Who's helping you? And watch this, and a coach from a perspective of empowerment, not enablement, but empowerment. Who's really invested in helping you to get better? Number 9, we got to go. I got a clue here. Take copious notes on it all. If you've done the math, you've done the homework, you've done the assessment, You were true to it, not new to it. You made it happen. Take copious notes on the whole thing. Documentation will always beat conversation. And once you take those copious notes on it all, y'all, then take even more necessary action. I'm out of time, y'all, but this is what we're talking about: finishing stronger and starting again better. Master keys for making the rest of your year the best of your year, because we got just over 20%, 22% of the year remaining. You can make a significant impact with the time we have left. Let me tell you one more thing, and then I'm going to leave you alone. I'm going to get baby girl to go here. We got some world tours coming up. Actually, we're going to have about 120, 125 of these for 2025. We've already started getting them in, y'all. You got some opportunities, y'all, where you can create your own events. You can create your own experiences, whether you're talking about for a small family reunion, you're talking about some small group retreat, fellowship, you and your boys, you and your girls, your family, you and your boo doing what you do. Maybe you want to take the kids, the grandkids. I don't know what you want to do. But I'm going to tell you, if you don't do it this way, you losing out. There's some opportunities, y'all. Panama City's on the list. $79. We talking about 4-star resort with all kind of amenities, y'all. $79, not a night, 5 days, 4 nights. We talking about Punta Cana, y'all. We talking about all-inclusive, $299, and all of these are for 2 people, y'all. Either it'll be all-inclusive or breakfast included. Honolulu, my God, $499. We're talking about almost a whole week there with all kind of benefits. My God, Malaga, Spain, y'all, $49, not a night, 5 days, 4 nights, breakfast for 2, 5-star experience. Dubai, $466. Man, when you see these new spots in Dubai that we got picked out, we talking about the whole week. Breakfast included for 2, $466. You can't even stay for 1 night at this place for $466. I'm trying to tell you, if you really want to finish stronger and start again on a whole different level, far better, far greater, you better ask baby girl, Coach Tanya, what time it is, and she's going to close us out.
My bad, I was muted. He touched on a lot of stuff. I'm getting ready to log on to this Zoom. And if you want more information on what he was discussing, get on this Zoom. The Zoom ID is 851-8208-4922. You want to get back to the person that shared this on their wall so they can get you that Zoom password, because we have to change some things up. Look, finishing stronger and starting again better. What better way to do it before sowing into yourself? So I'll see you on the next time, or at the beach or at the bank, but we trying to get you to both. Good night.